Hi, Paul Benedict here with the Benedict Group at Keller Realty Las Vegas. I've been wanting to make a video like this for quite some time. There's a lot of misconceptions sometimes around the actual borders of communities, master plan communities, which are definite in nature. When a land developer purchases a large tract of undeveloped land, there certainly are boundaries, and then when the developer prepares the infrastructure and then begins selling off individual parcels to the end home builders, boundaries are important to understand because prices, styles, feels, vibes of the master plan community can be very different from the subdivisions directly outside of the boundaries. So I wanted to clear up some of the misconceptions about boundaries of some of our more popular master plan communities in Las Vegas. And this will be the first of several videos since we have about 20 to 25 popular defined master plan communities here in town. So the median price in Vegas today for a detached single-family house is about $305,000. And we'll see by looking at some of the prices for these median, for these master plan communities that typically the quality of life, standard of living, and home values in the communities proper are higher than the median home price for Las Vegas. And the reasons are evident when you drive through some of these neighborhoods. So without further ado, so here's a graph I prepared. So at the bottom here we have the community name, and then we have the master plan price of the median price of the home, and then the price per square foot in the light green. So let's move over to our map here. All right, so this is the Las Vegas Valley here, bounded by the mountains on all sides, and I've drawn the boundaries and highlighted several of our communities that we'll talk about today. So let's zoom into the most well-known one and largest in Las Vegas, which is Summerlin. So the one that's blinking here, Summerlin. There are well-defined borders and boundaries of Summerlin. Let's talk about that. So on the north, Cheyenne. A lot of people don't know that. Cheyenne is the northern border of Summerlin. And that area of Summerlin is Sun City, which is one of the multiple age qualified neighborhoods in Summerlin. And then we have an area out here called the Pueblo. So the eastern boundary juts out to Rampart there, then it goes back at Vegas. And then down here towards the southern part, the mid and southern part of Summerlin, the eastern boundary is Hualapai, all the way down to about Sunset, and then we jut back east a little bit to Fort Apache. And this is kind of where the newest area, the Cliffs Village, is, and Wet and Wild of Summerlin. And if you notice to the west, we're bounded here by the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. So technically the size is larger than what is depicted here. The boundary actually does go out farther west here. All right, something also interesting before I move on to the next community is that you can see the officially released Summerlin border map. If you go to summerlin.com, the actual Summerlin border map looks like this. And this is available for everyone. You can see all the different villages. So it's divided into about 20 some villages. Some are actively selling new homes, like the Paseo, Stonebridge, Reverence up here, which is where I live, the Summit, and the Cliffs in the south. And there are a few other spatterings of new construction in Summerlin as well. So very interesting information there. Now, in Summerlin proper, within the boundaries I just defined, the median price of a home is $390, and that's at the end of Q2 2019. So that's about a month ago. So I'm making this video in early August, and this is at the end of Q2. So $390 and $290 a square foot. You see this trend line here, or this median price line of $305 for the entire Las Vegas Valley. All right, let's move along to the next. Zooming in here to the northern part of Summerlin, we have a smaller community, which many of us know. This is Desert Shores, the one that's blinking there. All right, Desert Shores has lakes in it. However, sometimes we confuse Desert Shores with the lakes, which is there. So the lakes, which is that one, is very different than Desert Shores. Constructed more or less around the same time. Desert Shores was a little bit later. So the lakes was started in about 1987. finished construction in the early mid-90s. Desert Shores was constructed around the same time, but closer to the 90s, and then finished up around the early mid-90s. All right, so Desert Shores has Cheyenne on the north, Buffalo on the east, Lake Mead on the south, and then Rampart on the west. Back to the lakes. Lakes is a 2 square mile area. Sahara on the north, Desert Inn on the south, Durango on the east, and Hualapai in the west. Just north of Desert Shores, sometimes confused with Summerlin as well, but that's Piccoli Ranch. All right, Piccoli Ranch is roughly a square mile. And Charleston on the north, Rampart on the east, Sahara on the south, and Hualapai on the west. Now let's just go back over to our pricing graph so you can see what the median values are for those neighborhoods. Over here, Desert Shores, median price $278. Price per foot $155. The Lakes, $320 median price of a home, $176 a foot. And Piccoli Ranch, we have $325 a foot and $325, then $180 a square foot. All right, just a few more here before we sign off for the day and continue with our second video next week. Rhodes Ranch in the southwestern part of Las Vegas. All right, this is Rhodes Ranch here. Durango on the east, roughly Warm Springs on the north, and we have Pebble on the south. All right, just larger than 1 square mile. Now, Rhodes Ranch carries a median price of $397 and $171 a foot. There are new construction homes still actively selling in Rhodes Ranch, and I work with all new construction homes. If any of you out there are curious about buying a new home, it's very important to have a realtor represent you. All right, moving back. Mountain's Edge. This is one of my favorite neighborhoods. Very good quality houses here, very reasonable prices. So Rhodes Ranch has several borders to discuss. Mountain's Edge has several borders. Blue Diamond on the north, all the way south. We have Cactus there, Star Avenue there, Rainbow on the east, and then Fort Apache on the west. Now, technically there's a little corner here that I didn't unhighlight, which is not part of Mountain's Edge. And then there's some other neighborhoods here that are not part of Mountain's Edge, but many people think they are. For example, Arlington Ranch is not part of Mountain's Edge proper. Median price of a home in Mountain's Edge, $310 and $164 a foot. All right. So I truly appreciate you watching. There's lots more information where this came from. As you see, there are more communities I haven't discussed today. But for now, that's just a snippet of what I wanted to discuss, and I'll have more for you next week. Paul Benedict with Keller Williams Realty. I'm a 15-year broker salesperson here in Las Vegas Valley. I grew up here. I know the town very well. And as always, I'd love to help you or anyone you know buy a home or sell a home in Las Vegas. Thanks for watching.